Hello everyone and welcome once again to another program of Prime Time. I'm your host Beverly, and the long-term impact of last year's hurricanes has been felt most in the private sector. We have a gentleman from the St. Martin Chamber of Commerce who is going to be able to explain to us the climate of businesses here on the island. He's also a young and upcoming entrepreneur on the island, so you won't want to miss this. Stick around and we'll be right back, for this is Prime Time.
At Nagico, the things that matter to you matter to us. Like knowing you're covered when your house gets flooded, getting your settlements quickly and fairly when a fire hits your home, and making sure your business can keep going even after an accident happens on site. At Nagico, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
This is Prime Time and welcome to my guest, and that's Mr. Anastasio Baker. And he is the director of the St. Martin Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Baker. I know that while we were chatting before we started, your, it's filled.
It's filled.
Yeah, you got a lot of things. You're the director of the chamber, and then you also managing the hotel there in Pelican, and also I really know you from the party bus.
Right,
yes,
right.
And I also know you too from the airport.
Correct.
So tell us how you ended up as the director of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Well, it was a smooth. First of all, thank you for having me. This is the first time I'm on this particular stage. So thank you for finally getting me on. Yeah. After 13 years of being on the airport, actually that is what I studied. But during my studies, I kind of enjoyed safety of aircraft and airport, but I also took the business aspect of it. So I have my bachelor's in aircraft maintenance management, but I have two masters, one in airport safety and one in airport management. So
you're really serious with this airport thing?
Yes, indeed. But business is business and management is management. Mm-hmm. So what happened is after 13 years doing the same thing, I figured it's time to try something different. And then I went through a vigorous process in order to be the director of the Chamber of Commerce. But successfully, I was the chosen one for the particular task. So it's now, I think, in a couple of days, I'll make 1 year in that particular seat, which is the 1st of July.
And as you mentioned, for the sake of our listeners and viewers, you couldn't hold both positions in the airport and as director of the chamber.
Correct, because the airport is a full-time job, but also the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce is also a full-time task. And sometimes, most of the time, it's not 8 hours. You spend much more than 8 hours doing the chamber's work. So I have spent a lot of time just talking to people, because that's where we get most of the information. So you might see me here and there in my office, and then you might be sitting in your office for like 2-3 hours, working, but then someone will come and say, hey, can I speak to the director? And we try our best not to say no. Yeah. That's how it is.
So how is it going? I mean, you took up this position 1 year ago, right in the middle of Hurricane Irma area in that time.
Correct.
Where we saw that it damaged really our businesses on the island.
It damaged the businesses, but it also damaged our mental state, and that had a heavy impact on us as well. But like you mentioned, I came into the Chamber of Commerce, and not too long after the hurricane came. But it came, and what I did is simply adjust it, because I was going according to a plan. I wanted to do this. Like, for instance, I plan per month. So this month I would like to do this. That month I would like to do this. And what we did when the hurricane came on, and you saw the devastation, especially for the negative aspect of the looting, which a lot of businesses, of course, were looted that were not damaged. So to get a better sense of how the economy, how are we looking like, I decided, me and my team decided to do a survey. So what we did a business hurricane survey. So we interviewed, I think it was over 1,205 businesses, in the span of 4 weeks. So
many businesses.
Yes. So what we did is, I think we started in October, and we took 4 weeks to complete it. We just split up in teams. So a team was handling the town area, a team was handling Back Street, Front Street, Soccer Garden area. We had two teams in Simpson Bay and Coal Bay. So we kind of strategically placed our teams in different areas, and then every morning before we go up, we would brief. Just dialogue on how it was. And Beverly, one of the biggest lessons learned after the hurricane is the warmth you felt from a business owner when he or she busy mopping out water or looking or just staring, literally sitting and staring at the roof of broken glass. When I mean broken glass, I'm talking about showcase glasses, and you're just sitting there. And what was the most touching part to me is the joy when they see that the Chamber of Commerce is in your establishment, and we just come to check on you the person, you the individual. A lot of them actually, we were more in a counseling state because you literally had to, we had to cry with a lot of people because again, you would not be human if you don't cry, and you have to let that out because a big man or woman, you seeing them breaking down and holding you like that's your child. So again, it was very heart-wrenching, but also it was very comforting to our members that we came out and checked on them per se.
I'm anxious to ask you, what did you find
with regards
the 1,200 people you went out? You did that survey, and what were some of the results of the survey?
Well, one of the positive results is, I didn't bring it, 84% of the businesses at that time mentioned that they were going to reopen.
84? Yes,
and 65% of the businesses that we interviewed mentioned that they were going to maintain their complete staff. So that was really, really, really good. Let me see if I can remember. We had a lot of businesses that reported that they were not damaged from the hurricane, but the looting aspect also, affected them. But there were 4 main points that came out of the survey from the members. One is what tax incentive government will be providing to the business community. That was the first one. The second one was we are looking forward to better security before, during, and after the hurricane. And the third one is enforcing the building code of St. Martin. Why? Is because we had a lot of businesses that were not damaged. However, because the structure in front and the back of them wasn't to our code, their roof flew off and come straight into your establishment. And the last one, let me see if I can remember the last one. I don't think I can remember the last one right now.
But you said them also.
Yes. The last one is revisit the issuing of the hurricane passes, which we did.
Okay.
So with those 4 points, we as Chamber sat down and kind of say, okay, how can we break this up in pieces, and how can we best tackle each of these points?
I have to take a break.
No problem.
We take a break, and when we come back, we will continue our discussion. This is Prime Time. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
People all across St. Martin are switching to a more rewarding experience. The WIB MasterCard Fun Miles credit card, better known as My Card. Earn 1 Fun Mile for every $2 spent, even abroad and online. This will quickly get you a ton of fun miles to redeem for travel, shopping, food, fuel, and much more. But there's more to My Card. Worldwide acceptance, an EMV chip for extra security, and 250 free fun miles with first use. Switch to My Card today at WIB.
Fun miles, from within your reach.
A cruise is a great adventure. Not only for passengers, also for us. The Port of St. Martin. Our port always reflected the needs and aspirations of the time. From the first to the 1.75 millionth passenger in 2013. Our cruise story started in 1963 with our first cruise passenger. 50 great years later, 20 million passengers later, thousands of cruise berths later, we've become the leading port in the Caribbean. 50 fantastic years. Like a dream. The dream of Port St. Martin lives on and reinvents itself every day. The best is yet to come.
At Travel Planners, we love what we do. Every day we help our clients plan their vacations, from honeymoons to family reunions, trade shows to conventions, school trips to sports tournaments. Our agents at Travel Planners can help you make better, wiser decisions on travel destinations and cruises and find you the lowest fares. Make some memories with help from Travel Planners in Phillipsburg and on the Airport Road, Simpson Bay. Visit our website at Planners SXM and like us on Facebook at St. Martin Travel Planners. We take care of all your travel needs.
Welcome back and thank you very much for joining us. This is Prime Time and we're speaking to the Director of the St. Martin Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and that is Mr. Anastasio Baker. Now tell me, you said about 84% of the businesses said that they were coming back, and out of that, did we see some new businesses coming out also? That's another important point.
Glad that you asked that. Now we're in June of 2018, so basically we got the numbers in for our first quarter. So for the first quarter, and I was actually anxious to see how we did. Surprisingly, Beverly, we had 219 businesses open last year, but this year we had, for the same period, 279 businesses. So more businesses opened this year after a storm than last year when we did not have any storm. And adding to that is less businesses closed their doors this year than last year the same time, and also less businesses also put their business on inactive. We call it inactive, meaning they just put it on hold until they're ready to use it again. We had less businesses do that in 2018 when compared to 2017 the same time.
Out of your expertise, what is the reason for that? Put your finger on it.
Well, it's a simple reason, because you ask people why are they doing it, and there was a number of them said, hey, now I used to work hotel. The hotel is no longer there. So I'm now using this as an opportunity to follow my dream. I always wanted to do this, so I'm doing it. And there's the 5 sectors that people chose to go into. Is the first one right now is construction engineering. The second one is bar, restaurants, and snack bars. The third one we have is clothing stores. The fourth one we have is administration. And the fifth one is cleaning companies. Actually, cleaning company is number 3, and clothing stores is the last one. So yes, cleaning companies.
But if you look at them, they are all tied into what happened after the hurricane. Now you start to need construction, and you need cleaning
supplies.
Right? And I don't understand the reasoning for the food. I mean, I suppose people have no homes, so they need to eat out.
I guess.
I'm trying to figure out all the reasons why would have that. Wow, that's amazing.
Indeed.
And so, are people in our community, the business people, are they using the services of the chamber?
Not fully. But what we are planning on doing this year, we have already started. We start to engage a lot more. We start to partner with a lot of other entities that doing stuff, and to basically get the word out on exactly what the chamber is there for, and how can you use the chamber a little bit more to your advantage. One of the things, and we also, we'd have brainstorming sessions, and one of them that we will be putting online very shortly is, we call it the orientation. Business orientation. Seeing that we have so much businesses opening, we would like to, or we are going to guide them. Prior to getting your Chamber of Commerce excerpt, you will be asked to do an orientation. Within this orientation, we would then show you the steps to follow after you get your your extra. For instance, you have to go to the tax office, you have to go to SZV, best practices, we would have all of that within a presentation. And the presentation format will be no more than 30 minutes. And of course, you would get the handout to take with you as a guide. Because what we notice is that some persons, when you ask a person what happened that you closed your business, a lot of them said that they did not know they had to do certain stuff. So we said, okay, since that no one guided you, we will implement that very shortly.
Yeah. What should the focus of government be now? Business-wise, chamber-wise, post-IRMA?
That's a very good question. We had a new government. Yes, we have a government that just sworn in today, and I think right now the priorities are shifted a bit, and it's more on into roof repairs and look at socially aspect of our people. Now, I'm not saying that that should not be the priority. However, we should look at how can we assist a little bit more. How can we assist the business community? Because as you know, it's about 88% of our economy actually runs on a small business. Right. So how can we stimulate that and try to get it back up and running? But again, Beverly, the good part about our people, when I mean our people, St. Martin people, is we don't wait.
We saw that.
Yeah, we don't. We've been hearing about this 550 dropped down to 470 million. And if you go out on the street now,
we see a penny yet.
And we're doing okay.
Right. If you take a drive here and you take a drive on the fence side, you see the difference.
Indeed, you would see it. And that's just the determination of our people. We don't really go for the handout thing too much. If I have $20, I would stretch that, or maybe you can borrow me $5, and like that I'll continue building until I'm back on my feet and where I can repay you the $5. And that's the way that we have been doing it, because I like to say this, back in the 70s and the 80s and a fraction of the 90s, St. Martin people were always the business owners, always. So hospitality came from us. That's where we got the name, the Friendly Island. And today now that has changed a bit. But hopefully we would go back a little bit. Ask your parents and grandparents who actually owned the businesses as to how it worked then, and now we are just trained to be employees, because not all of us are designed for that.
Yeah. Sometimes it's easier way out. It's easier to collect a rent or some money than to really go out there and slave over on that business. But anyway, it's not always the correct thing to do.
Yes.
Anyway, we take a break and then we come back. And at the beginning we talked about being the director of the chamber, and then you're managing the hotel, then Pelican, and then the party bus. So I want to know how you're managing all of those.
Okay, no problem.
Stick around, we'll be back in a moment. Don't forget, you can look at this program and all programs on Facebook, YouTube, and on Channel 15. Stick around, we'll be back in a moment.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
The Daily Herald is my first source for up-to-date information and news. Putting together this program of prime time requires research and knowledge of current events. For local news, regional and international news, do read the Daily Herald. And so now you're the director of the Chamber of St. Martin. And then tell us about I want to talk about this first. Tell us about the party bus.
Okay.
Where that idea came about.
Well, the party bus idea, I saw it, I think I saw it similarly in Panama, but it wasn't the same concept. And then I saw one of them in Aruba too, but again, it wasn't the same concept that I envisioned. And during my studies in the United States, I did a test, and you know when you're stressed and you're not sure if you did the test good or not. So I went into a Denny's, and right there I sat in Denny's and just venting. I just sketched the bus that you see on the road now.
Yeah.
I just sketched it to the T, and then I said, "This is what I want to do," because I always like to host parties and stuff. I'm like, we can do this. And when I came back, again, we started it. I painted the bus myself. That's what I did.
You painted the bus yourself?
Yes. I'm very.
So you're good with your hand, creative drawing, art, and so.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
well that helps.
Paint the bus, put in the music, and it's been 10 years in operation now.
Yeah.
10 straight years.
And are people renting it?
Oh yes,
Oh, yeah.
and I noticed a shift. It was designed for stayover tourists first, but then the locals took it over, and they up to today it's their bus.
What's the age bracket you're seeing? Most young people. You're seeing 60th birthday parties. You're seeing what you're seeing.
The party would be used for instance, parties from 5-year-old children, all the way up to 95-year-old children. So indeed, and people use the bus for various stuff. Use it for birthday parties, anniversaries, even funerals. We did a number of those because again, it's just part of it. This person party, and that they use the party bus for that. Yes, it's a very good business. But now we have noticed that the cruise ship, it's much more. The bus runs a lot more in a day than it does. So we have
more business with the cruise
ships. Indeed.
So in the bus, you getting drinks and food, or just drinks alone? I know music is, of course.
Yes. It goes different because for local parties with our residents, they would bring their own food and drinks, but we will serve everything for you. So you'll be served like a king or queen on the bus at a time. And for the tourists, we include their drinks. And then we stop at a local, of course, to share the wealth. So a local business will be getting that part.
No, that's the bus.
That's the bus.
Now tell me about the hotel. I mean, that's a great spot you got, right opposite Atrium. So if I go to Atrium and don't really like it, I just walk across the street.
And you're supporting the locals.
Yeah.
To be straight up. Well, Baker Suites started in 2014, January 2014, but we had the property for over 20-something years. We had a car rental there. It just was a old house that was there.
Right.
And during a meeting with my parents, my brother, it's just me, my brother, my father, and my mother, we sat down and we were like, okay, but what can we do next if we break down this property? And we decided, let's try a hotel, and my father designed
That was an extremely brave and huge venture.
If you don't take risks, you'll never know what you can do.
Yeah.
And this is one that we put all heads together, and we decided this is one risk that we will take. Mind you, it is a risk because when you can't, for instance, when it's challenging and you have to, for instance, come out of pocket, everyone feels it.
Yeah.
So when you make money, everyone is good,
Happy,
but
yes.
also when it's not doing that well, you have to.
Especially in slow season.
The bills has to be paid. So the point is, it was a right location. We are already in the hospitality field. So we say, why not? And by traveling a lot, you get to a lot of ideas on what you would do different. So we just took that concept and applied it to Baker Suites.
And it's really nicely built. Is it in the suites?
Yes.
Right.
They're all suites with regards to all of them are fully furnished, of course, fully kitchenette, so you can cook and stuff in it. All king size beds.
Wow.
All our suites has its own balcony. So
I see that,
yes,
yeah.
every one of them, that's one of our features. We brag on that. And of course, we cannot stop priding ourselves that we are 100% local St. Martin business.
Right. And then you have the car rental too. So that's the icing on the cake.
And the car rental is right on the bottom. So it's a one, and we have food right next door, the greenhouse, but also we have the sports, water sports activities. So when you come to Baker Suites, and also we right now have the unit next to us, the building next to us. We recently was blessed, I must say, with the opportunity to purchase that. So we got that right now. So we make one kind of.
Will they expand?
It is expanded already. To the right, not to the left, to the right.
To the right,
so,
yes.
So there is the Chinese supermarket on the bottom.
Right.
We have the Indian cuisine on the
top,
top.
right.
And on top of that is a small studio apartment. So that building is also Baker Street's property right now.
Wow. So before we leave this interesting interview, how are you balancing all those?
It goes with a lot of management is the key. Once you and your manager have seen eye to eye,
Yes.
you brief on exactly what you would like and what you don't want. It goes a little bit easier, and you have to trust the person.
Trust.
Yeah, at times it's hard to trust when it comes to your pride and joy. But in order to grow, you have to let go. You have to delegate, and that's been our recipe thus far, and it's been working pretty well for us.
Yeah, well, we wish you all success.
Indeed, thank you.
At the chamber, success with your hotel, and of course, don't stop the party at the party bus.
All right.
Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure having you on the program.
Wonderful.
This has been Prime Time. We'll see you next week. May God bless you and continue to support our program.